Hello and welcome to the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter. Live tonight from Sebring International Raceway. We are here on V-Speed tonight for race number 5 of the series. Looking forward to another exciting night of action in these BMW M8 GTs. I'm joined here in the booth with Alec Martinez. Alec, how are you feeling about tonight's race?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited to see this one. This track's a little more worn out than we were last week at Le Mans, and I feel like what I'm seeing off of the qualifying boards, we might have another interesting race on our hands, and that the championship battle is going to tighten up even more between Christopher Hill and Steve Hikachi. I'm looking forward to this race here. Back in America, this track's old. It's been around since, I believe you said 50 years earlier, and this track, or 1950, this track's it's old, it's taken some wear and tear, and it takes some wear and tear on these tires. It's going to be about looks like it's going to be about conserving your tires here, and obviously the corners seem to be a lot more tighter, it's a lot more narrow track, a lot less straightaways, and more corners, so I'm looking forward to seeing what we have, and I'm sure the elbows are going to come out between guys here. It's tight, and looks like we'll have a lot of jam-packed racing tonight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of beating and banging. Hopefully not too much. I know the series here trying to crack down on that a little bit. We had the lap 1 incident last week, and we'll see if anything like that happens here in tonight's race. But as you mentioned, that championship battle, 2 drivers have split the 4 races. Steve Hikachi and Chris Hill, those 2 each with 2 victories now coming into race number 5. We'll see if either of them takes the victory tonight. They are currently 1st and 2nd on the qualifying boards. Darren Treacle 3rd, Stefan Vappa 4th, and Peter Lanik rounding out the top 5 at the moment as the qualifying session wrapping up. Tonight's race is going to be a 40-minute session, as will each and every race this season. And tonight's race here at Sebring, 3.7 miles and a 17-turn course in at the historic Sebring International Raceway in Sebring, Florida. As we've got a few more minutes here for qualifying to wrap up. Let's see if we can go on board with Steve Hikachi and get his ride around the racetrack. He works down, this is the Bishop Straight, down towards the, ironically, the Le Mans corner down here, this little S-bend down at the tail end of the racetrack as he works his way now into, this is turn 16, onto the Ullman Straight, towards the Sunset Bend, which is the very iconic flat corner that leads back to the start-finish line. But these are long straightaways, and you're going to want to get really good runs through those tight corners to prepare yourself for as much speed and momentum on those straights as possible. But he comes to rest there in Sunset Bend, and I think everybody pretty much wrapping up. Looks like Brian Kennedy still on the racetrack. Pull up the qualifying ticker. Hikachi with a 156.18. Nice solid lap time. He was also right up there at the top of the boards. Darren Treacle, I believe, was fastest in practice. But kind of the top contenders from last week showing their speed again tonight.
For sure, for sure. We're seeing same faces in familiar places, they would say here, and I believe Steve Hikachi is going to start on the pole for the 2nd week in a row. We obviously saw what he did last week at Le Mans and absolutely dominated, and I believe led every single lap of that race. So now he's got Christopher Hill trying right next to him, and it was interesting last week. We saw Christopher Hill had about the same pace, if not just a little bit under him last week, and now Christopher Hill looks like he's going to be starting on the same row as him. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep up with him, and we're going to have a tight battle most likely today, and it's going to be interesting with Darren Treacle, and hopefully there's no first lap wreck like there was last week. So I'd love to see how this race turns out, and it's going to be interesting. We have 28 drivers here tonight, so I think, like you said, this is a league record, so love to see it. It's good for this league, and I'm excited to see what these guys can put on a show.
I think just over a year of action here in the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing. Record attendance tonight, 28 drivers taking a qualifying time. So definitely love to see a league growing like that. And we had some great battles last week. I'd like to see more tonight. And this track much narrower, much tighter, much more technical in many ways than last week's race. These guys going to have to mind their manners a little bit here, especially these opening laps. Looks like qualifying coming to an end. Take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's race. Hopefully this works for us tonight. Looks like it is. Steve Ficacci gonna take the top spot at the pole for the second week in a row here. Christopher Hill gonna join him on that front row, and gonna challenge him for yet another race win. Darren Treacle, another driver who was very quick in the practice session, he'll roll off third. Stefan Vapa starting in the 4th position alongside him. Peter Lanik starting in 5th tonight. Brian Kennedy gonna be starting in the 6th position. He jumped up a bunch of positions in points after last week's race. Adam Pohl rolling off 7th. Aaron Dietrich starting in the 8th position. Michael Pavellano going to be rolling off from 9th. And Steve Ferris going to round out the top 10 on the grid.
Starting at 11th, Colin Kortnick. In 12th, Yarkov Bilek. I hope I said that name right. In 13th, David Curtis. In 14th, Dean Tulin. In 15th, we got Sten Salier. Mike Nickham starting in 16th. Ryan Waldo starting in 17th. Peter Zerksa in 18th, Scott Kim 19th, and Stefan Tenney in 20th.
21st, it's going to be Jesse Brannon. 22nd, Matthew Stover. 23rd, John Wood. 24th, Pablo Corrales. 25th, Barry Bocaner. Carlos Bond's going to be rolling off in 26th. Robert Benson starting 27th. And rounding out the field here tonight, Nicholas Matthews, the 8th position. Are about to get underway here. It is a rolling start tonight. I know they were joking about a standing start, and that seems like it could be a bit concerning. But
that'd be interesting.
But that is not the case. It's going to be a rolling start here tonight. As we take a look at the weather, pretty cool here in Sebring, Florida. 76-degree air temp. It's a nice winter
over
day.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish it was like that up here in upstate New York. We're about 40 or 50 degrees lower than that right now. Track temp 79 degrees. Could be plenty of grip, and we are off and away. Green flag is out. Steve Ficacci with a good jump right there. Going to take the lead down into turn number 1. Christopher Hill and Stefan Vapa battling it out for 2nd position. They surprised us with a quick green flag like that.
And these guys fanned out on that front stretch really quick. To see going into turn 2, you guys stack up a little bit of lockups there from the 96. Little contact there to go side by side and set them up for the first straightaway here. And then leading into a sharp right-hander where you're going to have to be on the brakes really hard.
Yeah, the hairpin corner, turn number 7. That is definitely a tricky section of this racetrack as Ficacci leads them down into there hard on the brakes, and then a little kink back to the left, back to the right. And they going to go back onto, this is the Fangio straight here. Not really much of a straight. They're pretty much turning the whole time, but...
Oh, spinner into the sharp right-hander. I believe that's John Wood. A little harmless spin, but we'll lose some time definitely as you get it back pointed in the right direction. And sorry to cut you off there.
Good. John Wood getting it spun back around. He is 27th now. After starting 23rd, going to lose some spots there.
For sure. And I'm starting to notice here, we're starting well later into the day than we did at Le Mans. We are almost, it looks like we're for sure in the sunset. It'll be interesting to see it. Most likely at the end of 40 minutes, we will be under most likely complete darkness. Be interesting to see as these cars do have headlights. It'll be interesting to seeing how dark it gets and how much changes the track as we go later into this race and more rubber starts to build.
And battle for the race lead. Ficacci has it here on lap number 1, headed down into the sunset bend. Christopher Hill going to take a peek to the right side. No room to make that move as they drive through here. Oh, and he's in the wall.
That wall. Man, he better hope he didn't make something. The suspension is Vapa goes up into the outside wall, brushes the tire barrier, able to keep it straight. That is, hopefully that didn't really affect Christopher Hill. It looks like he had a little something for Steve Ficacci there. He's able to get it back going. See if we get a look at that right side, or I believe that's the right side fender of Christopher Hill.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to cut it just a little bit too much back to the right, and the wall came right up there into him, and just trying to do too much too early possibly. We saw him have a mistake last week, lap number 1, but one of the fastest cars, and that, again, the case tonight. But this mistake a little bit less costly. Darren Treacle now going to put him...
down to the bottom! Contact! Oh, contact with the 77. He's able to get it back going. Brian Kennedy goes around.
Oh, big hit,
good.
too. Yeah, the 97 as well. That is Stefan Vapa. Let's go back here and get a replay of this. They're going down in the corner, and yeah, just hard on the brakes, locked him up. Safe Fair is able to capitalize. He moves to 4th position.
Brian Kennedy gets into the 64 car, I believe, or 84 of Dean Tulane. He gets it through the grass and all good. Man, like I said, elbows out already here at Sebring, and man, these guys are getting up after it right now.
That is definitely the case. As Ficacci still 7, now 8/10 out in front, trying to pull away from Christopher Hill, who may have some aero damage. It was a pretty significant hit to the wall, and we'll see how it affects him on the straightaways here. Doesn't look to be too bad.
He doesn't look like, checking his damage, I don't think he has much damage on that right side. I think he's fine. We'll see if we can, not letting Ficacci out of his sight yet, so we'll see what he can do here. Like I said, only 8/10 back, but he's got Darren Treacle right behind him, not too far, and able to capitalize on a mistake if he does make one.
Yeah, Treacle right there in the 3rd position, just about 4/10 off of him. Safe Ferris has moved up to the 4th position. How about that? Safe, a new member of this league. We're familiar with Safe from the Below the Double Yellow NASCAR series, but you know, he does quite a bit of road racing in his spare time, and up from 10th now into the 4th position. Doing a pretty good job here, and we saw him have a couple mistakes in practice and qualifying, but obviously he's kind of ironed those out.
For sure, good to see Safe running up there, and you know, racing him in the Below the Double Yellow Line Cup Series. Glad to see him up there. Glad to see one of our oval racers maybe take it up to these road racing guys. Happy for Safe and happy to see him up here. I look forward to see what he can do, and like you said, he started 10th. Definitely a candidate for one of the driver of the race.
Yeah, and we will be asking for that around the halfway point of the night. We'll put up a few drivers for a vote, and you can pick your favorite driver, and we'll interview them after the race. Of course, cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know you're watching, who you're rooting for, and we'll try and follow along here. But battle for 5th. Michael Pavolano has it. Aaron Dietrich wants it, but not quite close enough. Those two separated by just a couple car lengths at the moment.
For sure, and they'll go into the S's section pretty much, as Dietrich will close a little bit in here on Pavolano. Can't really get it, but it's all about setting up for this little bit of a straightaway here and getting it into that right-hander of turn 17. As you can see, he's got a little bit of a run, and he'll have that draft going down the straightaway here. Let's see if he can do anything as they'll go into turn 17. He's got a big run, and he's going to look up to that inside of the 24, and see if he can complete this pass.
Looks down to the inside, backs out early, and there goes Pavolano with a big dive down in the corner. Might cost him on the back.
There.
Yeah. I think
Dietrich's going to have one more shot at him here going into turn 1 as they'll go down the straightaway, the front stretch here, past the start-finish line. You see he's got another run, looks low to the left side of the 24, backs out of it again. See if maybe Pavolano will miss the corner, make a mistake, go wide, go into the grass, and so he can capitalize on that position for the top 5.
It on right now, though, in that 5th position. Got to go back a little ways to Colin Kortnick, who's all by himself in 7th. David Curtis about 2 seconds back from him in 8th. Brian Kennedy trying to hold off Sten Selye. That is 9th and 10th. Those drivers solidly up here. Stefan Vapa recovering. He's got a lot of left front damage, though, after that impact down into the hairpin area. But still just outside the top 10. Peter Yerkes, Mike Nickum, Stephen Tenney, Ryan Waldo rounding out the top 15. Battle behind him, Barry Bocaner going to look to the inside of Dean Tulane. Or sorry, that is Peter Lanick going to make the move.
Again,
Scott
I believe
Kim.
that's Scott Kim. That was, as you can see, I'm looking here, is we got from about 13th on back, these cars are pretty close, not too strung out here. As these guys, like you said, making moves. Early in this race, about 10 minutes, almost 10 minutes into it. There's about another 30 minutes, about half hour to go. It's pretty tight up here for about the 14th position.
Yeah, Ryan Waldo here, 15th, putting some pressure on Stephen Tenney, 14th. if you finish in the top 15 in this series, you do score points. Anybody outside of that, they're not going to earn any points. So there is a real, value to getting up here and hanging on to these positions early, especially putting yourself in position to earn points at the end of the race.
Sure.
The championship contenders kind of separating themselves already in the standings, but those guys, 5th to 15th in the points, they're only separated by about 15 or 20 points. So still 5 races remaining after this one. Is a car off the track there? Trying to see who that was.
Look.
I believe that's Carlos Bonds, who's going to park it just outside of turn number 2, or that is turn number 1, actually. I'm going to let the whole field by.
Yeah, I did not see what happened to him.
He just pulled right off in front of the leaders, and we've got a car on pit road.
That's Brian Kennedy probably fixing that damage that he got from the contact with Stephen Vapa's battle for, that's the 18th position, Barry Buchanan and Adam Pohl battling there with the 9 car. And, Adam Pohl goes wide! Keeps it off the tires. In the grass, trying to save it, get it back going. Got a few more cars of Pablo Corrales, and I believe that's John Wood going by, as he'll get it back going here.
Adam Pohl, one of those drivers, he finished up towards the front last week after an early incident.
And he was our 3rd place finisher, I believe, last week at Le Mans.
Yeah.
Not having the run he would hope for today is not as good as he had it at Le Mans, but still a lot of time, still a lot of laps to get going here and before we close this thing out.
Lap time still under 2 minutes, so at that rate we'll have probably 20-21 laps to complete in tonight's race. Ficacci has led them all just like he did last week, just about a quarter of the way through the event. But Christopher Hill, Darren Treacle, they're not letting him get away. That gap 1.2 seconds for the race lead, and Treacle just a half second off of Christopher Hill. So the top 3 pulling away. Got to go 5.5 seconds back to Safe Ferris, who is hanging on the 4th here. Good solid run, but not contending for the win at this moment.
They're definitely not letting Ficacci go out as far as he did at Le Mans. Still relatively within striking distance, as we see Peter Lanek for about the 16th position go under Dean Tulin, as he'll get another spot and close in on Ryan Waldo for 15th. But yeah, looking at these top 3, they're not too far away. They're all within striking distance. They're not letting Steve Ficacci go. And, this could always get interesting. We still have a pit cycle most likely, as we got a spin in turn 2. Sten Salier is getting back going, about a half spin there. He's able to gather it going and trying to let Stephen Vapa go. But like I said, these top 3, they're still close together, and, as long as nobody makes a mistake and they don't wreck each other, they should be able to. They got a decent league on Safe Ferries here.
I'll look here at Sten Sellier and what happened with him. Looks like I'm not seeing it just yet, but
the grass and just with these cars just spun him right around.
Yeah.
But not lose a lot of time, as we still got a battle for the 5th place position. As Aaron Dietrich and Michael Pabliano are still going at it, as they're starting to run down Safe Ferris.
Yeah, so Safe may be a case of going out there and pushing a little too hard too early and starting to fall off a little bit last time around. He was still quicker than those 2 behind him, but it was only by a couple tenths. And he is multiple seconds off the pace of the race leaders like the rest of the field. But those top 3, they are in a class of their own tonight, still in the 156s and 157s. And everybody else at least 158 and up. So.
We got a pass for 5th, possibly. Dietrich going down to the bottom of Pabliano. He's able to complete it. It's going to have to dive in on the brakes hard, as he'll be able to complete that and get the 5th position from, as Dietrich will get the 5th position from Michael Pabliano. But Pabliano fighting back off the corner. He's got the run down the front stretch. He's going to have to see if he can take it to the inside into turn 1. He peeks up to the right side, goes to the outside into the under the Chevrolet bridge. Going to try to do a crossover, can't get there, as he's still got a run here, as he'll try to take it into turn 2.
This is a tricky section if you want to complete a pass. It is so narrow. There's really no margin for error, and things happen so fast right around here. But looks like Dietrich able to hold him off through that section. Pabliano, though, still just a couple car lengths off. as they continue to fight for that 5th position. Say Ferris now, he pulls away during all of that. He was, you know, multiple tenths faster, actually over a second faster than Michael Pavolano, who might be falling off a little bit right now.
A few spots behind them, David Curtis and Stefan Vapa going at it for the 8th position, as Vapa, even with that right front damage, probably hurting him a little bit on the straights, but seems like he hasn't lost a lot of pace in that car. He's going to look left, peek out to the inside, and he's going to try to take it here, and we'll think better of it.
Vapa started in the 4th position, right now in 9th, trying to recover here, and doing a good job, very similar to what Christopher Hill did last week, where he ended up inside the top 10 after essentially going to last at one point during that race. Looks like Ryan Waldo and Peter Yerkes also battling it out back here for position. We got the 84 off track, Dean Tulane, and that is also going to send Yerkes off. And we've got almost 3 wide right there.
Yeah. I believe that was the 54 of Yerkes that went wide here, and now they're going to go side by side to the S, is able to get it straightened out. As this battle from now, it looks like about 16th on back is starting to heat up, as they'll come off into the corner and they'll go down this backstretch pretty much, where the draft's really big and where you can send it into that last turn going into turn 17.
The Ullman straight here down into the Sunset Bend, that famous last corner, and it is Scott Kim going to try and peek to the right side, but too far back. He's having a solid run here, 15th up from 19th. Peter Yerkes goes way wide on the exit. That's going to lead to a battle here on the front stretch with Yakov Bilek for the 16th position.
Bilek's going to dive it into the corner, and he's able to complete that pass as Peter Yerkes will let him go here. And now behind him is Stefan Tenne is starting to run him down here as they go into turn 2.
Good battles throughout the field here. Up at the front, it is still Ficacci out in front by 1.4 seconds, but those second and third...
Trouble, Aaron Dietrich is around. He's going to bring it back on the track right in traffic. Able to take the long way around, as I believe he just going back onto him. He spun it around and was on the inside wall in a weird position. Looks like he might have just lost it on his own here going into the corner.
Under braking, just locked it up. Back end came around. Nobody hit him. A dangerous spot to be, and luckily able to get it back rolling.
Definitely, yeah. I noticed while doing laps here at this track earlier this afternoon, that corner is very, very hard to get on the brakes hard and not have the rear tires lock up. The way this car is, the front brakes tend to work pretty good. They do lock up sometimes, but in that corner specifically, it's more of a rear brake lockup, and this car goes right around. There's really not a lot of time to catch it as soon as it starts to step out under you.
Battle for second. Darren Treacle is there. Going to look to the left side of Christopher Hill. Down into turn number 1. Not going to go in there hard enough, as Christopher Hill able to hang on to second. The racing advisor there, I think it's Precision Racing Instruction. He's a driver coach for them. He's doing a good job here, holding off some of these guys who are his students, and you know, he's the master, and they're trying to teach him some lessons today. He is doing a good job though in second. Ficacci still though, he is you know, top of the charts here. And,
about a second and a half ahead of these guys. Just depends. Like I said, we still have a set of round of pit stops here coming up. That can always change something, how much time you can gain on pit entrance and pit exit. And while the tires are, you know, they cool down while you pit, you know, you're in pit road for about 20 seconds. Those 20 seconds mean a lot during your stop. When you're at a complete stop, the temperatures start to lower down and the tires get a little bit colder. Don't have as much grippage when you get out into the first few corners, and definitely could change the handling of your car, and for sure could easily cost you a second and a half if you're not really ready for it.
It's so easy to lose time. You got 17 corners here, 17 or more opportunities for mistakes, but we did have a change for position for 5th. That is Colin Kortnick taking it away from Michael Pavolano. They change hands 5th and 6th. Stefan Vapa has worked his way to 7th now around David Curtis and Sten Sellier. And speaking of Sten Sellier, the Beltway Brewing Machine, one of the sponsors of this series. Proud to have them on board here, and it looks like they've got some really good products. We'll hear more from them here at the halfway break, but Beltway Brewing Company, located in Sterling, Virginia. They proudly represent the DMV area. Check out their lineup of unique IPAs, lagers, sours, stouts, seltzers, savory and delicious empanadas by Peruvian Brothers, available in their tap room. Sounds pretty good right now.
Empanadas, man. Let me tell you, those things. Whew, those things they hit different on another level, man. Those things good after a nice Mexican dish here that you can definitely get in Florida, or a Cuban dish. Let me tell you, an empanada after sounds pretty good. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes, sir, indeed. For all things Beltway, go to beltwaybrewco.com and follow at Beltway Brew Co. on social media. They are on Twitter and also on Facebook, and you'll hear more about them in a moment. But one of the sponsors here, also SEO Mike, another good sponsor. They help with SEO, search engine optimization. Located in Kansas City, they've been search engine optimization 1997. Experts in that field. You'll hear more from them here around the halfway point. But Steve Ficacci sporting their colors on his door there, and doing a good job out in front. 20 minutes in, he has led all the way, and continues to hang on to a 2.5 lead, and they're not really letting him pull any farther from that. Maybe these guys finding something here, far into the run.
For sure, they've been able to really, I guess you could say, sterilize the gap. They haven't let him pull away by over 2 seconds for sure. As I can tell you, it seems like Darren Treacle has a little more pace than Christopher Hill. As Christopher Hill, you can see, missed the corner there a little bit, and Treacle will have a run down the straightaway. But it looks like Treacle does have a little bit more, I guess you could say, pace overall. So you look down to the inside. Christopher Hill, it's going to get really tight on that bottom. Not enough, I guess you could say, grip, as he's going to have to settle in once again behind Christopher Hill. They lost a little bit of time probably battling there, which almost looks like it'll probably allow Ficacci about a 2-second lead. But it looks like Darren Treacle in that number 70 car does have, I guess, better pace than Christopher Hill. As Hill just doesn't look like he has enough, I guess you could say, speed to really keep in front. He's just being able to hold on when it matters and defending his position going into the corners.
Looks like another car on pit road now. That is David Curtis pulling in from inside the top 10. He'll get service completed on his machine. But yeah, as you're saying, Darren Treacle a bit faster, and his lap time actually reflected that. Very close to his fastest of the race, and about 0.8 faster than Christopher Hill on the previous lap. So he is there, and if he could get up past the 101, might be able to track down Ficacci in that 00 machine.
For sure, we got a battle for the 8th positions. Peter Lanik looks up to the inside, and a hard braking right-hander under Stan Salier. Salier doesn't have enough to really, Lanik gets a little loose off the corner. Salier will tuck in behind, looks low. Salier goes to defend, or Lanik goes down to defend, excuse me, and Salier can't do anything yet and will stay in behind, as it looks like Peter Lanik retake the 8th position.
Lanik, another driver. He was up in the mix last week, up inside the top 10, and repeating that performance. Sellier has moved just forward in this race. He started 15th up to 9th, so he is on the march towards the front. Ryan Waldo also up 7 positions from 17th to 10th. A real good job there. As we've crossed the halfway point, we're going to go to a side-by-side commercial break to hear more about this league's sponsors. Right back. SEO Mike helps businesses of all sizes achieve higher search engine rankings to drive more traffic and increase sales. Contact SEO Mike today for a free website evaluation and quote. Mention this ad for 15% off your initial setup. SEO Mike, marketing websites on the internet since 1997. Visit SEOMike.com. Beltway Brewing Company is a state-of-the-art brewery that helps brewers of all sizes reach the next level, whether through product development or brewing and packaging services. In addition to helping craft breweries perfect recipes, reach a broader audience, and scale for distribution, our atmospheric tap room serves our very own award-winning unique brews, providing a true haven for beer makers and beer lovers. Learn more at beltwaybrewco.com.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
Back at the racetrack now, looking at Scott Kim, who was battling it up there with Yakov Bialik, and they have now separated. Pit stops are underway. Pikachi still out in front right now. He's got 12.2 seconds over Darren Treacle, who had a little bit of an excursion off track, and he's lost some time here, and now 12.5 seconds back. Christopher Hill, though, did pit from second position. Taking a look now, he is running in fifth back on the racetrack. First driver of the drivers who have pitted. Next one would be Safe Ferris, who pitted from fourth position. He rides ninth. So some of those guys have pit, and many farther back in the field have already brought it down. David Curtis, Stefan Vappa, Ryan Kennedy among those. But when do these leaders pit? They're taking it pretty far here. As Fikachi through the final corner, he's going to do it right now.
He'll be bringing it down pit road. It'll be interesting to see where Christopher Hill comes around as he's going through the S's and setting up for the long straightaway here down the back. He'll be coming into, I believe he'll be coming into turns down the back here. He'll be coming into turn 17. It'll be interesting to see where Fikachi comes back on track. Fikachi is just into his pit stalls. We'll get here on Christopher Hill. He is into turn 17 through the center of the corner, and now off the corner and coming down the long straightaway. Fikachi's out of his pit box now, and now he's out of pit road. Be able to see here is Christopher Hill will be coming into turn one. It's going to be really tight. Christopher Hill's going to have more of the run here. He's going to have full, but Fikachi able to get about an 8-car length lead. Now Fikachi's tires are cold. Christopher Hill's tires are up to temp. Take a little bit for Fikachi's tires to start coming in here. We'll see if Christopher Hill can capitalize on it.
Yeah, he did cut that lead about in half. It's now down to 7/10. At one point, before the pit stops, about 1.5 seconds. So definitely the undercut helped him, but it didn't accomplish probably entirely what he was looking for. Those two take over the top of 2 spots. Peter Lanik yet to pit, rides third. Darren Treacle looking to get back into that position. Out in front of Safe Ferris by about 6 seconds, but Safe, good run here in the top 5. It's been, a pretty uneventful day for Safe. He's been kind of by himself up here in the top 5.
Sure.
And what he needs to do.
Yeah, he's playing the right strategy. As long as he doesn't bend the car, I think he'll be fine. As this battle for what will eventually be the lead of the race is starting to heat up. Christopher Hill, he's putting some pressure on Steve Fikachi here. Fikachi's tires are probably almost up to temp here as they just got by the lap car of Mike Nickham. As Christopher Hill, you can see him dive into the corner as Focacci uses those curbs to get the car more pointed into the right direction. And Christopher Hill is not letting him go here.
Now that gap's still about 0.6 of a second, and Christopher Hill, Steve Focacci, who have been battling it out for the championship. This is the halfway point in the season. This will determine who has more wins. They both have 2, and they run 1-2, so the drivers to beat so far this season. But Darren Treacle, Peter Lanick, some of those guys, they are also strong contenders up in the points. Running well here in this race, about 3/4 of the way through. We did put up the driver of the day poll, so vote on your favorite driver here today. Some contenders like Colin Kortnick, Dave Ferris, Stefan Vappa with his recovery, and Ryan Waldo had a really good race going. He was up inside the top 10 and trying to get back up to that point. He's on the list as well, a big mover in this race.
For sure, for sure. And Safe Ferries has been obviously putting today a great run for him, and showing the oval guys that the oval guys can stick with the road racing guys. And also I believe Colin Kortnick, he's been on quite the run today. He's in the 7th position, starting 11th, but ran a relatively clean, uneventful race, but got in a few spots and got himself inside the top 10.
And he is approaching Michael Pavlano. Those two hit on the same lap, and it was Peter Lanick. He just made his pit stop just moments ago, so he falls back to 10th. Now these guys grab some positions from him. Kortnick in 6th, Vappa in 7th, a bit farther back. Good drive from him. Ryan Kennedy, a good drive here. He's been in the top 10, but he's gone backwards a couple positions, but trying to recover and maybe get up there to that 7th spot.
I hate to cut you off, man, but we got a battle for the lead. Christopher Hill is about 3 car lengths. They come down the Ullman Straight. Christopher Hill is on Stephen Vappa, and it is going to be a fight to the end. Less than 10 minutes to go in this race. Hill's got a big draft as they go into turn 17. It's going to be down to the wire for the last 8 minutes of this race for who can get this championship lead and take the win, or take the sole lead of most wins of the season, and of course the win here at Sebring.
Yeah, Focacci, you know, basically continuing where he left off last week. He's led every single lap. He's led every lap here tonight as well.
For sure, but I tell you, I don't think Christopher Hill wants him to lead every lap today, because he is on him the entire last few laps. He's been on him the entire last few of the laps. Let me tell you, I don't think it'd been interesting to see if Christopher Hill was at Le Mans and in contention with Steve Focacci, but this week we have the battle we've been waiting for, and I'm excited to see what's going to go down here as we're going to come into the final, I believe, 5 minutes after this lap. It's going to be really, really interesting. We're going to have about 2 or 3 laps to go as they'll cross the line. I think we'll be coming to 4 to go here as Christopher Hill is starting to pressure Steve Focacci.
Yeah, we have 9 minutes remaining in the race here, and yeah, they are on the back end of the racetrack right now. The 101 still just about a car length off of Focacci. That will be a battle to watch. There are some others on track. Stefan Vappa, Brian Kennedy, 7th and 8th. Those two pretty much nose to tail. Kennedy runs a bit wide onto the dirt there. What else we've got around, like Ryan Waldo, Aaron Dietrich, 14th, 15th positions. Peter Yerksen not too far back from them. And then fairly spread out. Other than that, we still have 24 cars out of the 28 starters on the lead lap.
Very good.
Yeah, and everybody else 1 lap down, so nobody out of this race. That is very impressive.
For sure, and I will tell you right now, you know, Peter Lanick, Sten Sallier, they're pretty close together, but right now the closest cars on the track, I believe, are Steve Focacci and Christopher Hill. Is Focacci able to pull a little bit down this front stretch, but Christopher Hill should start to reel him in because of draft as they go down the front stretch. I'm really interested to see as we have some lap traffic in front of Steve Focacci that Focacci, I'm assuming, will probably flash the lights, let them know that they are coming, and this is a battle for the lead.
They are approaching that lap. Mr. Dean, who that is, I believe Robert Benson? Yeah,
Yes,
right?
yes, I believe that's the 71. So come off the straight, you see Focaccia will flash the lights. It's gonna probably hold up. Oh no, Benson's able to get out of the way pretty quick, and Steve Focaccia will go on by along with Christopher Hill. As Focaccia goes wide! Here comes Christopher Hill! Through the kink, forces him off the track! Into him almost! Oh, and Christopher Hill's off the track!
Wow, what a battle right there. He went wide, tried to correct, almost collected the double zero, and instead goes very far off the track, and that's going to leave a 3-second margin now as Focaccia able to hold on after what seemed to be a disastrous mistake, and he's got an even bigger lead now.
Yeah. Wow, I thought they were both going to be going around in the grass when I saw Hill come up the track and almost clipped the right rear quarter panel of Steve Focaccia. That could have been a disastrous turn of events for both of them, as now Focaccia's got about a 3-second lead, and that might be good enough for Focaccia to hold on for a second win in a row. As Christopher Hill, oh man, that's just tough. We were going to have such a good battle. I'm glad these two didn't wreck each other, but man, that was almost, oh man.
What a close call for sure. And Christopher Hill, he's got time to recover. Potentially, it's going to take a mistake from Focaccia. And now Chris, with grass and dirt on the tires, you know, maybe not going to be up to full song here on this lap. But for those two, the class of the field tonight, by far, Darren Treacle, he's in third, about 9 seconds out in front of Safe Fares. He is on an island at the moment. Looks like he'll secure that third podium position, barring any big mistakes. There comes Safe just out of the final corner right there. Michael Pavolano, he's got about a second and a half over Colin Kortnick. That'll be for fifth. If they get to battling here, then Stefan Vapa, Brian Kennedy, Peter Lanik, David Curtis, the top 10. No real super tight battles amongst those drivers. Then you go back to Aaron Dietrich, Ryan Waldo, Peter Yerxa. Those drivers separated by a second and a half. That'll be one to watch. The last
sure.
Coming up.
I believe Scott Kim and Jarvik Bilek are going at it right now for the 12th position. As you can see, Bilek has a big run down the front stretch, looks up to the inside of Scott Kim, trying to get it in, see if Kim can do the crossover here, as Bilek will clear Scott Kim going into turn 1, and they'll set up for turn 2.
It looks like Brian Kennedy just came off the pit road, 6.5-second pit stop. That'll cycle him back to 13 behind those two battling. I'm not sure why he hit there. Maybe it was yet to make his pit stop, but I'd be impressed if he made it this far on the fuel load that they have. But either way, he is outside the top 10, but still in the points. Ryan Waldo holding down that last spot, but just 4/10 out in front of Peter Yerxa for the 16th position. They are, nose to tail right now for the final point.
He is on him right here. He's definitely there to pressure. I believe that's Ryan Waldo. He's definitely there if any mistake, if Waldo makes a mistake. Sorry, I can't speak there for a second. But yeah, I could tell you that Yerxa is definitely there to pressure Waldo, and if we can get Waldo into a mistake and get that final point, which always can help in these points standings.
Now, really, if you look from Brian Kenny's, we do
trouble.
have that was...
Who that is? That is Jesse Brannon in the 333 car. Camouflage. He's blending in pretty good there. Yeah, I did not see that until I saw the headlights going the other way, but he's able to get it back going there. Probably scared Ryan Waldo and Peter Yerxa there a little bit. I know that would have scared me for sure.
Yeah, he was sitting off on the side of the road and with no lights around the racetrack other than on the race cars. You can't really see him there. I didn't see him until they got up next to him. But 12th on back a little ways to Peter Yerxa. We've got, pretty tight battling there for position.
For sure. As I'm looking here for the top spot, Christopher Hill was about a second faster than Steve Focaccia that last lap. I don't know if Focaccia's tires are really starting to fall off here, but Christopher Hill is starting to run him down again. I believe we'll be coming to the white flag this next time by. I don't know if Christopher Hill can make up 2.5 seconds. If he had maybe 2 laps, I think it'd be possible, but I tell you, Christopher Hill is not giving up. He is trying to run down Steve Focaccia as they come down the Oman stretch into Sunset Corner.
Yeah, and that gap, 1.8 seconds. We'll see if they get the white flag here. It's either going to be this time or next time around. 2 minutes, 25 seconds and counting.
I'm telling you, Christopher Hill is probably hoping for this to be 2 to go because he will definitely have a shot at the pace he's running right now.
Yeah, he is pushing hard. He ran 156.81. His fastest lap of the race just happened.
We didn't see the white flag. Oh my gosh.
Could get another battle for the win. Still 1.8 seconds. But these guys so far in front, even if they both spin out and even wrecked possibly, they could still go on to finish 1-2. They're 13 seconds up on Darren Treacle.
True. If they wreck, I think Treacle will obviously have a big run. Or will definitely have a real shot. But I think we'll definitely be coming to the white flag this next time by. But Christopher Hill still in about a half second faster that last lap. There's another, I believe Stephen Tenney's the next lap car that Steve Ficacci will be running down here as Christopher Hill is gaining, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here. They'll probably be coming to the white flag here with the way the time is here. I'm gonna say this: if Christopher Hill does get up to Steve Ficacci, he's not going to be as nice this time.
Yeah, they were racing so hard right there. He's been all over him. Or he was all over him during that section of the race. Even at the beginning, though, you could see he pushed so hard that he ran his car into the wall. But he is definitely driving for this win tonight. He is driving his heart out. And he's had to recover now. This will be the second time. And he is closing, but I don't know if it's fast enough.
That's for sure. I don't know, as I think he might get slowed up. No, Stephen Tenney does a great job of getting out of the way of the top two. It's not too far behind. If Ficacci does make any mistake, I will say Christopher Hill will be there. I think we'll probably be coming up on the white flag here. Only 35 seconds left to go on the time that I'm seeing on my screen. I think it's going to be coming to the last lap here.
Yeah, and the gap is shrinking a little bit. It's about 1.5 seconds down into the sunset bend, but it's just not going to be close enough. But even a small mistake from Ficacci will close that gap. We've seen him, lose it under braking a little bit right there. So
there it is. Yeah, 1 to go here for Steve Ficacci for 2 in a row. And I believe, will probably be sole possession of the points lead. Christopher Hill is not giving up. Like we said, any mistake from Steve Ficacci might cost him this win, as Christopher Hill is trying. You can see him diving into the corners, trying to set up and get any bit of grip in those tires. Try to catch Ficacci here.
He closed up a little off track right there, though, over the curb. The gap now 1.4 seconds as Ficacci still hanging on. Let's see if we can find. There is a battle between Colin Kortnick and looks like Stefan Vappa, Michael Pavolano, 5th, 6th, 7th. So they are a little ways back. These guys will get to the line. They'll probably still be battling. But this is the last lap. Ficacci going for 2 in a row. He break the back and forth streak between Hill and himself, trading wins off each other.
Looking at Christopher Hill diving into the corners is absolutely insane. He is trying everything in every last possible inch out of that BMW. He's trying everything he can to get up to Steve Ficacci. Ficacci's got looks like about a 1.2 second lead here coming off of this corner, and they'll come into the S's and they'll set up down the Oldmont Stretch and down the Oldmont Stretch and down into the Sunset Bend for the final time.
And the gap, he gets a little squirrely right there. He's pushing so hard. He's gotten it right around 1 second and loses a little bit here back onto the throttle. And I think it's pretty much all but over Ficacci as long as he makes it through the final corner. Going to be off
no problem.
Around Sunset Bend into the sunset for another victory. Here he goes through turn 17. Nice and smooth through there. No issues whatsoever. Flashing the lights, celebrating. He's going to go 2 in a row here at Sebring. Christopher Hill, strong run second. Darren Treacle just making his way into Sunset Bend
Now
in
for
third.
Colin Kortnick's off the trick! And Steven Vappa is going to go by as he flashes the lights. I don't know if there was any contact there, as I just caught Kortnick going off the track there, and it looks like Pagliano should bring it in 5th, Vappa should bring it in 6th, and Kortnick going to hold on for 7th here over, I believe that's a lap car, and then Dave Curtis back in 8th.
Like Vappa peeked to the right side, and Kortnick maybe thought he was going to dive in there, just went a little bit too wide to give him space. And yeah, like you said, he'll finish 7th. David Curtis well behind them. He's going to try and hang on for 8th here. Brian Kennedy 9th. Aaron Dietrich currently in the 10th position. Good run from all of those drivers, as Ficacci, though, taking the win here at Sebring tonight.
We might have had a little trouble with, I think Peter Lanik and Sten Sellier might have got into each other for the 10th position. I'm not sure when or where, but Sellier and Lanik were, I believe, 10th and 11th. And Sellier finished 14th and Lanik finished 16th.
Yeah, lap
times.
times.
I have to go back and see what happened.
Yeah, just look at the lap times. 13 and 18 seconds off the pace. Oh, yeah, not happy.
My gosh.
Oh, wait, it's Stefan Vapa. As, yeah, piling into each other here. I guess that's a tradition in this league. But
yeah.
It's getting pretty violent down there in turn number 1. But Ficacci, he's going to take the win tonight. We'll interview him and our top 3 and driver of the day right after a quick commercial break. Beltway Brewing Company is a state-of-the-art brewery that helps brewers of all sizes reach the next level, whether through product development or brewing and packaging services. In addition to helping craft breweries perfect recipes, reach a broader audience, and scale for distribution, our atmospheric tap room serves our very own award-winning unique brews, providing a true haven for beer makers and beer lovers. Learn more at beltwaybrewco.com. SEO Mike helps businesses of all sizes achieve higher search engine rankings to drive more traffic and increase sales. Contact SEO Mike today for a free website evaluation and quote. Mention this ad for 15% off your initial setup. SEO Mike, marketing websites on the internet since 1997. Visit SEOMike.com. All right, and back at the racetrack now, going to be pulling in our race winner here tonight, Steve Ficacci. Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, back-to-back, the first 2 broadcasts here on V-Speed. You lead every single lap. It got really tight and interesting there late in the going, but you hold them off and take your 2nd victory in a row. How's it feel?
Yeah, no, it feels good. I mean, pole and led all the laps. I guess that's kind of how you rate it up, right? Wasn't like it was easy. Chris was there the whole time. We had a little moment. I made a mistake going into the hairpin. We were side by side, and then I saw him get a little sideways. I just asked him. He said, I don't want the track or anything, because that's what I was worried about. But yeah, it made it exciting because he ended up being about 2 seconds behind me at that point, and then was trying to make a push for the finish. And I think I might have went a little too conservative, because I was like, well, let's not make a mistake. I got a little bit of a gap, I got a breather, and yeah, got exciting.
Yeah, it definitely was exciting. A really fun race to watch where the top three, you guys were just dominant. It was yourself, Hill, and Treacle. You guys were up there about 2 seconds separating the three of you. Did you feel that pressure throughout the race? It seemed like you were holding a pretty good margin, able to hold them off for all the time.
I try not to. I try not to look in the mirror. I think I probably monitor the relative and look at the gap a little bit too much, but it kind of is what it is. If it gets close, you'll see him in the mirror kind of thing. But there were a few corners where I thought I was a little bit slow, so I was trying to work on them throughout the race, and I don't know if I helped them or hurt them, but I feel like maybe I was pushing a little too hard. 'Cause about 3/4 of the way through the race, I think the front end went away just a little bit. Not a huge amount, but I didn't have the pace that I did, so I also didn't have enough gap to cool the tires. So I had to just keep on pushing. So yeah, it definitely made it interesting from my point of view.
Yeah, definitely from ours as well. But you go on to take the victory 2 in a row. We go to Olton Park next week. Another kind of semi-technical. You've got some long straights there as well. But how do you feel about going to that track?
Not super familiar with it. We ran it a few seasons ago, and I think I wrecked out. So I'm hoping to do a little bit better than that. So yeah, definitely can improve there.
Well, we'll be looking forward to see if you can go 3 in a row and take a commanding lead in the championship standings. But you take the victory tonight after starting on the pole. You lead every lap. Anybody you want to give a thanks and shout out to for tonight's win?
Yeah, sure. Just before I go, I want to thank you guys. You guys did a great job last week with the first time on the broadcast. So I appreciate that. And just our regular people I usually thank, like my wife, and takes a lot of time to sit in the basement and do all this racing. So I appreciate all the help getting the kids to bed and things like that. And then I got my sponsors, the VOG and Rick's Flicks. But yeah, it's great to have you guys and Scott Kim, our league admin. He does a good job. So thanks to all you guys who make this happen.
Awesome, Steve. Well, congrats on another race win here tonight. A lot of fun watching you duel it out with Chris out there tonight. Celebrate and catch you next week.
Awesome. See you then.
Right.
Yes, man.
Pulling up now, second place finisher. That is going to be Christopher Hill. Alec, I believe you're with him.
Christopher Hill, Alec Martinez, and Adam Baker in the V-Speed booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
All right, man. Great race. It's going good, man. Great race between you and Steve Ficacci. You ran him down after the end of the pit stops. Looks like he had a little bit more pace than him. Had a little incident, got into the grass, and was still able to almost run him back down again after run us through those last few minutes of this race.
Yeah, well, it was an interesting one. I mean, I think I kind of ruined my race on lap 1 when it's all said and done, because I had that position, or that speed and stuff like that, and I was setting up to get a run down the front straight, and I tagged the wall and kind of put some damage into the car. And as soon as I did that, then it was like I could, it was a little bit slower than I felt like I should have been, and I was trying to figure out if I should pit earlier to fix it up and all that. And sure enough, once they got fixed, the pace kind of returned to the car. But yeah, just great battle with Steve as always. I tried to. He'd left me more space than I thought he was leaving me, and I tried to leave him space, and I kind of screwed myself by putting 2 wheels in the dirt there, and the next thing you know, it became an adventure. So, but yeah, well deserved win for Steve there, and we'll keep this battle going. It's been a good one so far this year. So
For sure, man. It's been absolutely awesome to watch. As you said, you got the lap 1 damage. You said coming off of turn 17. Do you think if you didn't have that damage, you would have maybe had something to pass him earlier in the race or pass him later in the race?
I think it would have made a difference, because I probably would have been closer at the pit stop, and I also would have extended my stint all the way to the to the last bit, or pretty close to it, which would have given me a couple more laps with less fuel, and I think all of that would have probably added up to, I think it might have made the difference. But hey, hard to say. Steve's always got another, whatever, another comeback there somehow. He's a very, very talented guy, and a very tough competitor, and part of the big reason I keep coming back to this series is to race against him and Darren and you know, a couple of the other guys that are getting up there in the front. But you know, we were just talking about in the waiting room. It's, you know, very, very respectful, clean racing, and rather fast guys too. So it just makes it enjoyable. But you know,
For sure, man. Again, awesome battle, man. You kept us on the edge of our seats and put on a show for everybody at the end of that race, man. Before we let you go out of here, anybody else you want to give a shout out to tonight?
I always got to mention my business there, Precision Racing Instruction. We do some coaching within the sim. I also do stuff one-on-one with people with their own vehicles, and you know, so anybody's looking for a little tune-up, give us a shout, whether through Instagram, Facebook, or of course anybody in the league who's on Discord can reach out to me that way too. And yeah, big thanks to you know, all the other series sponsors, SEO Mike and Beltway, for supporting the series, and Scott for putting on such a great series. It's a lot of fun to be a part of it, and looking forward to next week. On to the next one. So.
For sure, man. Again, thank you. Put on that great show, man. Enjoy the second place, man. Have a great night.
Thanks, you too.
All right, second place finisher Christopher Hill. Let's go now to third place, Darren Treacle. Darren, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do, Adam. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, and looks like you had a pretty good race for yourself out there. End up on the podium. You were up there battling with the top two guys for the first half of the race, really, before the pit stops. You know, give us a rundown of the race from your perspective. What do you think you did out there tonight?
I did much better tonight than I did last week, for sure. But no, it was a good run. You know, I don't really know what happened. Chris pitted, and then going through the left-hander right before the bridge. I don't know, I think it's like turn 4 or something. I'm not really sure. The rear end came around. I tried to catch it, thought I had it, then it kept going. Tried to catch it again, and it was kind of like a slow drift, and it just went around on me. I don't really brake much there. I just I dragged the brakes just a little bit, enough to kind of slow down. So I'm not really sure what happened, but anyway, it went around, and it is what it is. And we were so equal in time, I wasn't going to make up any time on them. So, I mean, all in all, it was a good race. I believe I had the fastest lap of the race. So finished third on the podium. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, looking at it, does look like you just edged out Steve Kachi for fastest lap. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
Definitely had the speed, and it was a fun battle up there early in the race. You were all over Chris and really putting the pressure on, but end up third here on the podium. We go to Olton Park next week. How do you feel about going out there?
I know we've been there, but I will be honest with you. I don't, right off the top of my head, I don't remember the track. So some of these tracks we've run so little, I've had to buy them as we're going along. But, you know, I'll put in some laps and figure it out by next week. But I'm pretty sure once I get on it, I'll be all right.
Yeah, that one, from what I recall, is pretty narrow track, and you got a couple long straights, but fairly technical sections as well. So kind of similar to what we had tonight, but a bit more elevation change, and the surface is a bit more consistent. A rough surface here at Sebring, but you handled and managed that well. End up third. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's finish?
Sure, yeah. I'd like to give a shout out to SEO Mike and Sten over there at Beltway Brewery for sponsoring the league. And then just my personal shout outs. I'll give my insurance agency, Treacle Insurance Agency, a shout out. We do auto, home, business, and life. Also, Haggerty Motorsports, we will insure your race car as well as your classic automobile. And yeah, that's about it. You guys for doing the live stream, and of course Scott Kim for setting this all up for us.
Awesome, Darren, and I'm a customer of Haggerty too with the track day insurance, so very, very familiar with them. Great services there. But congrats on the third place finish here tonight, and
thank you.
Look forward to next week.
Absolutely, thanks, guys.
Congrats, man.
That is Darren Treacle, third place finisher. Now let's go to driver of the day. That is going to be Safe Ferris, finishing in the 4th position here tonight. Had a really good run after starting in the. Alec, I believe you're with him.
I am Safe Ferries, man. talked to you before, man. Driver of the day. Obviously, you started P10. Had a pretty eventful race, probably getting through all the traffic and solidifying yourself in fourth, and I think having a clean race from there.
Yeah, hey Alec. Yeah, it was an interesting start. Got a good jump as we took the green flag starting the race. Made it through the middle. That was kind of sketchy at the beginning, but I saw the gap, went for it, and it was a clean run. We made our way to P5, and some guys wrecked in front of us. And from there, we just held to P4, and we just minded the gap from the guys behind us. Because there was no way to catching the three fast guys ahead of us. They're the class of the league, and it's hard to catch up to them. But coming with P4 and also the vote for driver of the day, that's a great start, especially for a newcomer into the league. It was really fun. Like Sebring, we managed the race really well, and happy with the P4 and vote of the day as well.
For sure, man. Again, obviously, we've raced against each other in the Below the W Long Cup series. How much is it a difference, really, as you say, you like Sebring, from going into a Cup car and racing the Xfinity car as well to jumping into one of these BMW M8 GTs?
Yeah, these cars are way different than stock cars, that's for sure. Power steering and better braking. Managing tires is definitely way better with these cars than what it is in stock cars. For the people who say that stock cars is boring or it's not a sport, they need to get themselves into those cars and see how they drive. Nevertheless, these cars are really handful. You gotta know where your braking points should be. Try your best not to lock the wheels and lock your brakes as you come into corners, and trying to find the right brake bias setup for your vehicle and for your style of driving. These things are fun to drive. Road courses, I'm just starting to get comfortable with them, so I'm still learning as I go. And today, finishing in P4, that's testament that I'm happy with driving road vehicles and road courses, and we'll see where this is going to take us in the future for sure.
For sure, man. Again, congrats on driver of the day again, and showing us that us oval guys can hang with these road guys. But again, man, congrats. And anybody else you want to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
Well, thanks, Alec. And yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to the league sponsors, Beltway Brewery and SEO Mike. Thank you guys for sponsoring this amazing league. There are a lot of great drivers here, very respectful and very competitive. That's what I like about racing in leagues like these. So I'm definitely going to be a regular comer into these races and this league. I want to give a shout out to these guys as well at CCA and NCC for having me come on board and race with them. So far, 2 races, and both races have been a blast. I want to give a shout out to V-Speed and Team Red Speed. Those are my main teams from the Cup League, and I'm happy to represent them and hold the banner for them as well in other leagues. Hopefully you guys are happy with the P4. I don't know if I could have made it to the top 3, but we'll take it for today. And to everyone who voted today for me getting the driver of the day, that was actually kind of a shock, but I'm really happy and appreciative for you guys voting.
For sure, man. Again, congrats on driver of the day, man. We're proud of you over here at V-Speed, man. Congratulations, man, and have a good one.
Thanks, Alec, and thanks, Adam. You guys did an awesome job, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Great job, Safe. Catch you later.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, Safe Fair's driver of the day, sporting the V-Speed and Red Speed colors there. A great drive from him to finish in the 4th position. But tonight, focal point on Steve Ficacci. Started on the pole for the 2nd week in a row, and for the 2nd week in a row, leads every single lap and takes home the victory. So definitely making his name known here in this league, putting himself on the top step of the standings. Let's take a look at the rest of the results here tonight and head on out for the evening. As you can see there, no cautions, no lead changes in the recap, as Ficacci led the whole way and never relinquished that top spot. He takes the win. Christopher Hill, very strong performance in second, even with damage. Was chasing him down, just not enough laps left. Darren Treacle finishes in third. Safe Ferris finishes in the fourth position. Michael Pavlano, very strong run. He finishes fifth, starting in ninth. Stefan Vapa, he recovers to sixth after early issue. Colin Kortnick finishes seventh. Good drive from him. David Curtis finishes in eighth position. Brian Kennedy ninth, and Aaron Dietrich round out the top 10 here tonight.
Yeah, I don't know why iRacing crashed, so I don't have it.
Okay, 11th position, Ryan Waldo. 12th, Peter Yerkes. 13th, Yakov Bialik. 14th, Sten Selye. 15th, Scott Kim. 16th, Peter Lanik. 17th, Tulin. 18th, John Wood. 19th, Matthew Stover. And rounding out the top 20, Barry Bocaner. 21st tonight was Adam Pohl. 22nd, Pablo Corrales. 23rd, Stephen Tenney. 24th, Nicholas Matthews. 25th, Robert Benson. 26th, Mike Nickham. 27th, Carlos Bonds. And 28th, Jesse Brannon. We had 22 cars on the lead lap, and everyone finished tonight's race. That is an incredibly impressive and a very difficult racetrack.
You love to see it.
Yeah, really fun race tonight. Any kind of closing thoughts before we head out, Alec?
For sure. Sorry about that. I don't know why iRacing crashed again, given the last of the top 10. But again, man, that was such an awesome race. The battle between Steve Ficacci and Christopher Hill. We told everybody, we were talking about it last week, that these two, they look like that they're going to be having a battle at the end of the season, really. And we saw it here. Christopher Hill and Steve Ficacci going at it, and man, what a battle for that short time we had. It'd be interesting to see if Christopher Hill didn't go off, what else that could have happened, both them battling. But man, what an awesome race to watch. We hope you guys enjoyed watching as much as we did, because man, that was fun to call. Sebring's just an awesome track to watch the race at. I've seen, might have to even participate in the 12 hours of Sebring from what I saw. It looks like just a fun track, and man, what a show these guys put on, racing all throughout the pack. Just, man, awesome racing. Hope the viewers enjoyed. But man, I'm looking forward to next week at Outland Park. Again, another interesting track, narrow. So we'll see what happens there. I'm assuming we're going to have the same people look like they're going to be right up at the front, racing with each other. And I really look forward to next week, and really look forward to the rest of the season. And I'm telling you, man, that points battle, it's going to be something you don't want to watch on Thursday, or you don't want to miss on Thursday nights. You're definitely going to want to watch it.
Yes, sir. I think next week going to be another barn burner with Alton Park. Just a very tight, narrow racetrack, kind of like what we saw here around spring. It's going to be a showcase of skill and consistency, and the real challenge not going off track there. It's so easy on these narrow racetracks. But what a fantastic race. Thank you to all the fans, all the sponsors that made this possible, and of course the drivers out here putting on an incredible race for us tonight at Sebring International Raceway. And so we are going to head on out for the night here on YouTube. We'll be back next week at Alton Park here with this series, but also on Tuesday will be the debut of Season 5, the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. Won't want to miss that one right here to catch that. And right after this, we're going to be headed over to Twitch tonight.
Oh, yeah.
After Dark, the debut of that new series. That should be a lot of fun. And
look forward to that.
Yeah, check us out. You can see twitch.tv/Tim. Catch that action starting right up about a half hour or so. So come in over there. And we will catch you all later. Have a great night.